Hello guys, it's me Nick. I am here to give you a quick tutorial on Canvas. This is Canvas, but first I want to stop over here and show you, if you guys don't know this, it's campus.haeyoung.co.kr. You pick your school. We're going to pick Namsol de Hakyo, and your old username and password, and this is our new attendance list. So if you haven't been seeing your classes or your attendance, that's because it's here. I at first didn't like that there weren't pictures at the side, but then I realized you can click them and see the pictures, and that's cool. I don't know exactly how to take attendance. I guess we click here. We'll find out more about that, but I want to give you a quick run through of Canvas. This is Canvas, and these are my published courses right here. So I'm not going to talk about you guys making an account. You should be able to make an account on your own. When you have an account made, you're going to go to Courses, so the third button down, Courses, and you're going to choose All Courses. And the reason for this is so you can get the stuff I made. You're going to choose Plus Course. You're going to name it whatever you want. If you look at my classes here, I know it's grayed out now. I generally name mine the year, then A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That is based on my calendar. So A is the first class. It's just so that I can go day by day through the week. And then the class ID number that Namsol gives. So each one of my class calendars have an ID number. My first one is 03. My second one is 14. I don't know what those mean, but it's nice when a student tells you, hi, my name is Tom and I'm in class 14. And you're like, oh, that's my Monday class. Because they don't often tell you the class time or date. So after it's created, so you can name yours whatever you want, however you want to name them. You want to go over to the right side and choose Import Course Content. And with this email that I'm sending out this video, I also should have attached a Canvas Course Export Package. So from all these, you want to pick the third one, Canvas Course Export Package. And Content, the third option, choose All. Then you choose a file, and you're going to choose the class template. The class template is what I sent out, and then you choose Import. And this takes a long time. This will take a bit. So it's going to load here. I did have a previous error where it just stopped here. When it gets to this screen, this is where you're going to be waiting. You're going to wait because it's going to import all the content I've made. So I may indeed pause this or cut this video right here so that you guys don't have to wait for this. Okay, so now your course should be imported, and let's go to your home of this course. The one thing you need to do is you need to publish the course. If it's unpublished, your students will not see it. So you need to go over here and publish the course. It just is one click, it takes a minute, and then your course is successfully published or updated. Once that's done, you can see the assignments and everything. But first of all, you don't have students, right? So you need to go to People. And after going to People, you see yourself. You should see your email, whichever email you're using. And you're going to add people, okay? And so I'm going to make up people. You need their emails. So you want to put in the students' emails, something that they'll use, and then you're going to add their name. So this is Tom, right? I generally use their Korean names because when it comes to grading with Namsol's, whatever program Namsol will use for grading this semester, I'm guessing the LMS, when you put their grades in, it's a lot easier if their names are all in Korean. And so Canvas will accept I will show you in a second. If I go down here and change to Korean, Canvas should or will accept Korean names. So Kim Na Hyun. Okay. And then add them. So this blue pending means that they have been added, but they did not accept your request yet. And there are different ways. Excuse me, let me put a name in here. There are not too many different ways, but there's a way that they get an email and then they should sign up for Canvas. And this is what I do in my orientation class. You wouldn't believe that it takes like an hour to have all the students put their emails in and then receive this email and then sign up for Canvas. The email sometimes takes 15 to 20 minutes to arrive for them. I don't know why. And sometimes it's immediate. It depends on the student. So sign them up, and then you're going to have to go to each student, student by student, and you don't have to go one by one. I teach one student how to do it, and then me and that student teach two more students how to do it, and then you have them, it's exponential as students are helping each other get through this process. It's basically a few clicks, but one of the big things the students have to do is change their time zone to Seoul. If they don't change their time zone to Seoul, they're going to run into issues with quiz timing and other timing. So that's how you add students. The next thing I'm going to do is talk about the assignments, the assignment point breakdown. This actually can be deleted. This is the assignments category. It probably will import on yours, but you don't need it. We have 20% for each grade category. And the reason I made the points like this, you can change them if you want, you can alter them if you want, but I made the points like this because in the past, when we put our grades into NSU's LMS system, the grading system, it usually has 4 spots. It's got attendance 20, midterm 20, final 20, and GITA. And GITA's 40% of their total. Well, 40% of their total, like you might have to do some math at the end of the semester, unless you use my point scale, which makes it so it adds up to a nice 400 points. So everything here is going to be out of 1,000 points. And then you can see whatever grade your student has and just put that number in. It's quick transfer. If you want to do your own thing, you can change these percentages on Canvas pretty easily, just what percent you want to be the final exam to be. So roll call attendance is 200 points. That's 20% of their grade. You can take attendance in Canvas. You don't have to. I stopped doing it because I realized I was taking attendance twice with NSU's LMS and Canvas, and that was a waste of time. And then last semester I realized maybe it wasn't a waste of time. Maybe I should be taking attendance in the roll call attendance. And one good thing about taking attendance and roll call attendance is that it gives them an idea of their attendance score. So I'll show you how you do that. You click the attendance tab, and over here you're going to change to the date, whatever date your students have class, and you can put it that they came, that they didn't come, or that they were late. And there is an option in here, I think in the settings. Yeah, in the settings you can change the percentage attendance they get for being late. I mean, that's up to you. So I don't want to talk about that too much because NSU will handle most of our attendance. The supplementary midterm exam is here. And all of these assignments are time-based. So the supplementary midterm exam, they should take from 10 a.m. to 11:50 a.m. on October 16th, if they are in the Monday 10 a.m. class. So we'll talk about it a little bit later, but you're going to have to change the times and dates because my sample class is the Monday 10 a.m. class. And what I do is I make that one class and then I copy and paste it and change those dates for all my classes because everything's the same. So what students have 40%? On the first day, August 28th, that is 3 days from this recording, that's Monday, they have supplementary pretest. They just click that and it will bring them to this pretest, which they're supposed to do in the orientation, I believe. So they can just find that there. As always, if you're wondering what the kids see, you can hit Student View up here in the corner, and it'll show you what they see. Oh, I've got that assignment. Their assignments look way less organized than mine because their assignments are in order of due date. which is great for the kids. They're like, oh, I got to do this supplementary level thing, and then I've got an ed puzzle coming up, and then I've got a quiz, and then I've got a survey, and that's how I'll be graded. So let me go out of that and show you guys in a more simplistic view. Sorry, I clicked that. They've got the pretest coming. Then they have, these are their 10 quizzes that they have. I have arranged the quizzes to start at 10 a.m. and end at 10:15 a.m. So the students come into class. As soon as they come in, they can be on their phones using Canvas, and they've got 15 minutes to do that quiz. And when 10:15 hits, time's up. I'm not super strict about it. You can go into the quiz moderation settings and re-allow students to take quizzes they missed. So if a student comes to me and says, my train derailed, that has happened to me in Korea, that students have told me that, I'll just let them retake the quiz. But if they have no excuse, they slept in, something like that, 10 to 10:15, worth 10 points each. As far as the points are concerned, you can drop a 0, and that will show you the percentage of their grade it's worth. So this quiz is worth 1% of their grade. These things add up to a total of 40. Down here we have the projects. Each project in the orientation, we said projects are 15% of their grade and participation's 15%. I made projects 20%, which makes participation 10%, because I feel that the collaboration part of the project is kind of their participation. And also, if you want to make this out of 15 points, you may have strange problems with using the Canvas rubric by changing this point value. So I will talk about that soon. These points are very specific. You can change them if you want, but you may have issues. So yeah, the projects are 20 points each. And then, so their participation's 10% of their grade, but I actually cut that in half as well. Participation for me is only 5%. And then they have ed puzzles are the other 5%. And the reason for this, the ed puzzles are their pre-learning videos. They get 5% of their grade for watching those. You can manage that however you want in your classes, but I want to grade them on making sure that they're watching the pre-learning videos. So these are all their assignments. I will stop talking about that for now, and I want to jump over to their grades. This is how you're going to see their grades. And their grades are going to be like this. You can, in Canvas, you can rearrange this stuff. Like midterm probably would be better to be after quiz 5, something like that. When they put their grades in, notice Tom has a little mark here because I already fiddled with his attendance. But then I put it back to 0, so it's like, oh, you did something, but there's no number. So when you put their grades in, it should appear here. And maybe I can show you that with Tom. Let me go to Tom and his attendance. And let's say Tom was here, Twerg was not, or Twerg was, Nahyun and Shishi were not here. And then let's go to their grades. And now it's saying, oh, they have 100% and they have 0 because they weren't here. So that's how quick you can add their grades. And it should have all of their grades laid out here. I know this is long. And then at the end, it's going to give the midterm percentage, the final exam percentage, and the quiz and projects. And you can look at this as points and put the point number into your NAMSL, the NAMSL LMS grading things. So I want to tell you about the kind of bad things about Canvas. The first thing I want to talk about is the project-based classes that I designed. When you do the project-based classes within Canvas, it's not always going to be easy because you need to assign each group of students to groups. The thing is, this isn't a big deal and you usually can do it on the day of class. I tried to have project groups copy and pastable, but it wasn't. So you guys have to do it in each class. It's not a huge deal, and I'll show you how. First, people is for adding people. So we're not using that, we're adding groups. And we want to add a group for each project, because in each project, all your groups will be different. So we're going to call this, sorry, I'm still in green, project 1. This is our first class where they have a project. And we can use, there's self-sign up and create groups later. We're not going to worry about that. This is project 1. Project 2 will be here, project 3 will be here. Like, you're going to add them, so eventually you're going to have 10 projects. And I can call this project 2, right? So project 1 is here, project 2 is here, and you want to have different groups for each project. So let's say project 1, here's group set, that's to add the different projects. So this is for every week, and then these are for the groups inside that week. The first thing I highly recommend is you make a first group called absent. That's the absent group. And the reason you do this is because you don't know what students will be absent, but by doing this, it's kind of a shortcut to making the groups later, and I'll show you what it is. So like, let's say we've got 4 students. Normally I would make 5 groups because you have 25 students, 5 students per group. That's pretty good. You can make more or less, it's up to you. So I just call them group 1, group 2, group 3. Group 1, group 2. I got 4 students here, so the group 1 and 2 is enough. Now, we've got no limit on the group. You can go over here and edit and put a group member limit if you choose. Right now I've got no limits on the group. But I want to limit the groups with the absences, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's say Twerg didn't come. So I'm going to put Twerg on absent. Now I want to automatically assign these guys to different groups. But it's going to throw some into the absent group. I don't want any students in the absent group except Twerg because he's absent. So what I do is I go over here. Now that I know Twerg's absent, I set the group limit of, the group membership should be greater than 1. I've never run into that before. So let's say it's 2. Twerg, and you can add a fake person if you want. Twerg and Tom are absent. So this group is full. They can't go into the groups anymore. Then, for the other groups, you can go over to this ... and randomly assign students. And that will randomly throw them into groups. But the reason of making this group limit is so that it doesn't randomly throw students into the absent group. So let's randomly assign. This takes a minute. You hit OK. Your groups are being created. And now it put 1 student in each because it's random. You can pull students out. So let's say Tom wasn't absent, but I had to put him in there to fill the absent group. And then I want to put Tom in group 2. Okay, so group 2 has 2 students. Group 1 has 1 student. So now my groups are set for project 1. Project 2, let's do the same thing, just so you guys can see it again. Let's say everyone came this time. And this is a little unrealistic because normally you're going to be dealing with many more students, not just 4. Let's randomly assign them. I didn't make an absent group because everyone came. But usually before class, I always make an absent group in group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I make all 10 projects just because then when you go to class, it's easier. And I'm sorry that this wouldn't copy and paste in the course content. So that's one thing you guys will have to make on your own. Just make a group for each project and then 5 groups in each project. And then if you want, you can rename the groups or do whatever you want with them. So it's randomly assigned these 2 and these 2 into their groups. And what I do in class is I bring this up on the screen and I say, these are your groups. Group 1 sit here, group 2 sit here, group 3 sit here. And the kids get up and move where they need to. So along with that, you need to go to your assignments. So let's go down. This is project 1, project 2. Let's do project 2 because I used all the students. And here's the rubric. I've assigned a rubric to every single project. So that's already done, and that should import for you. But you still want to edit this because it doesn't yet know which groups you're going to use. Oh, it did. It knew that it was project 2. I guess it guessed that. You might want to double check, though. The project 2 students groups are matched with this rubric, right? So that's what this is. This is a group assignment. Project 2 student groups that are randomly created just now will be matched with the project 2 assignment. And when you're done with that, make sure to hit save. And these are due on the day that that project would be due. Okay. So again, I'm in the assignment page in project 2. I'll go through that again to help remind you because I know this is a lot. Project 2, you got to play with Canvas a lot to get used to it. Here's design an airport map, okay, and then you're going to go over to SpeedGrader, and that's how you're going to grade it. Okay, this group doesn't have a submission. Yeah, I assigned them for no submission. So group 1, group 2, and there's some test student, ignore that. There's no submission, but what they do have is a rubric that you fill out. So you can say, okay, I chose, this is group 1. You see up here, it's group 1. They got an outstanding on map content. Visual appeal was not great. Language was terrible. But their collaboration was good. So they got a total 80 out of 100. So then you're going to hit save. And that saved it, but it didn't mark it as graded because the total score is out of 20, right? And how do you get from 80 out of 100 to 20? Well, I'll tell you mathematically how to do that, and that's why these numbers are a little specific. You might not want to fiddle with them too much. You take this number and double it, and then you cut off a 0, right? So 80 doubled is 160, cut off a 0, 16. 16 out of 20 should be exactly the same as 80 out of 100. Put the 16 in there, and then it will say, oh, they got 16 out of 20, 80%. And that's how you can calculate the score. So you can pick anything on the rubric and calculate the score. Now the rubric's going to want you to go through with each group and make sure you grade them. So this group, they did, I don't know, this, I thought they were like that. Not very good. Okay, submit this. This is down here is where you can send a comment to these students. You'll submit it, save their rubric. Their comment is submitted to them too, and they'll get it. When you do the comment, make sure to write group 2 needs to improve in something something. The first time I did this, I wrote you. I wrote you should improve in speaking, and you should be more participate more in class, something like that. And the thing is, each student gets this individually, so they think the you is them exactly, and you don't really want them to do that. You want them to realize it's their group. So again, take this score, double it, that's 100, cut off a 0, 10. 10 out of 50, they got, they got 10 out of 50, that's right. This is the average. Your average score for this class is 65, which is not great. You might want to try to keep this at about 80. That's nice. And then there's group 3 test student, which we don't have to worry about. So let me show you. So after this is done, this is a separate window. You can just close it. Let's go to project 1, and I want to show you how I would do that. So go to the SpeedGrader, and we've got group 1, group 2, and test student again. Oh, sorry. Let me go to assignments. Group 1 project. This is what I didn't do that needs to be done. Edit it. And make sure that this is set to project 1. I didn't set it to the right students' names. So make sure it's set to the right students' names. You need to do that with every project. As I said, you can do this before all of your classes start. You make the project groups, make 5 groups in each project and an absent group, and then go to the assignments and set each group to each project to its project group. And then when you start class, all this is taken care of. You need to save that, and you'll notice if you don't save that, if it's not right, when you go to SpeedGrader, the groups are going to be different. So this time we have absent, group 1, group 2, and test student. So absent, I forget who, I think Tom was in that group, right? You can hit this little pencil, and you can just say, Tom's excused. So his grade is excused. And then group 1, we're going to bring up the rubric again, slide that over, give them something, 90. 90 times 2 is 180, and so that's an 18. Group 3, give them, I don't know, doesn't matter, because it's not real. But if it was real, it matters. They got a 65, so double 65 is 130, so they got a 13, right? So now their group scores are graded, and then let's go back to the grades and look at how that turned out. So these are the quizzes. Projects here. If you remember, Twerg was sick on the first day, so he got an excuse for that. And then the other 2, These guys got 13. I guess they're in the same group. And this guy got 18, guy or girl, because she or he was in their own group. And then the same. I guess these two were in the same group again, and these two were in the same group. So it separated them for me automatically on the rubric page. If you need help setting this up, you can ask me, and I can work with you or email with you or meet with you on campus when I have time, and we can set this up together so that what you should be doing in your class, it should be as easy as you go to, once everything's set up, it should be so simple. You just go to the class, you go to assignments, you go to project 2, go to the speed grader, and what you have to do is you need to put their rubric scores in. You might want to send them a comment for their group, and you put this number in. As long as it says that all your groups are graded, you should be fine. If you do have a group called like test student or absent, you don't need to grade them. It should be okay. Okay, so that's projects and how projects are connected to the rubrics. I know that's complicated, but once you get the hang of it, John mentioned in class, like, should I be writing down all the students' names and what groups they're in and connecting them? And that, to me, sounds way harder than this once you get the hang of it, especially if you preset this up. So the next thing I want to show you is the Edpuzzle. Now, you will need to, if you're going to use Edpuzzle. This is the thing I'm least confident about. I haven't successfully tried this too much. You need to go to settings, and you need to, where is it? You need to go to apps, and you need to go down and find Edpuzzle, or you can just filter. Okay, there it is. And Edpuzzle needs to be added to each course. And it needs to be connected with a consumer key and a shared secret key that I can send you guys. And then when that's done, see, it doesn't work. So anyway, don't worry about Edpuzzle for now. I'll try to figure it out. The thing is, for you guys, you might need to do it on your own or find a different way to make sure that your students are watching the videos. If you want to, you can meet with me and set this up. It's really cool, but it needs to log into my account, so you may need to log into your own accounts. This is what it looks like in the class that I set up properly. There's Edpuzzle here, and it logs in, and then these are their videos they should watch. This stands for New Namsol University College English 2 Unit 1. And then on the student assignments, they have these Edpuzzle assignments. So like on Unit 2, it will open Edpuzzle for them. And then if I choose View as a Student, it's going to come up and they need to hit play and they need to watch the whole thing. And that's how they'll get their 5 points for watching this whole video. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments about that, ask me. All the Namsol University videos are available on YouTube, on my YouTube account, and they should be in the drive. So you can upload them to your own YouTube account, or you can just copy the link from mine, and then you can put them in Edpuzzle on your own. And it sounds complicated, but it's really not. Edpuzzle lets you add questions and things. You can do that if you want. I didn't. I'm just using it to make sure they watch the whole video. So of course, yeah, they can push play and go away, but it's not worth a whole lot of points either. The last thing I want to point out about the sample class that is one of the big downsides of Canvas is Canvas has a feature where you can move times and dates to where they should be, but it tends to not work very well. So notice everything is set for 10 a.m. October 16th to 11:50 a.m. October 16th. One thing you will have to probably do with all your classes, if you have a Monday 10 a.m. class, great, you can just copy mine. But even I have to do this with all my classes. You need to go in and set this for the right time. Like so, Tuesday classes follow a slightly different schedule. They usually end at 10 a.m. And end at 11. And so if it's Tuesday class, you're going to set the starting time and the ending time differently. And you're going to want to do that on every assignment. And notice I did something wrong here. Yeah, it should be. So this is the due date. This is the start time and the end time. And then you want to save that, and you want to do it on every assignment. It's hard to see where all that stuff is, especially if you just look through here, because like I changed the midterm exam date, so it's 9 to 10:50. But one great feature of Canvas is the calendar. And the calendar, let me go to where we are. It will show, so these times are the due dates for everything. So remember that. At 11:50 on the first day, this is the orientation day, they should have a pretest that should be done. That's the Google Drive one. And from the calendar, you can click things and see them. Oh, here's this assignment, and they should be doing that. On the first week, they'll have an Edpuzzle that they should do, and then they'll have a quiz from 10 to 10:15, and then they'll have a project, and the project's due at 11:50. So see this time? This quiz is due at 10:15. This project is due at 11:50. One thing to notice when you start adding multiple courses, that they don't appear at once because they're over here. You need to highlight them, and then it will show you all your multiple courses mixed together. So this is not a good example because I didn't change the times, but let's throw that sample class on. It shouldn't be intermixed like that, but notice I changed the midterm of this one to this date. In my opinion, the easiest thing for you guys to do is to import my course. After my course is imported, set it up the way you want it. Then, after the course is totally set up, because notice I don't have that many courses here. I have this class from last year. I think this one and this one I'll just delete, their trash. This is the one I'm working off of. Once you have one course totally set, go down here to settings and choose copy this course, and then you're going to rename it. And it says you can adjust the event and due dates, and that would be great. But I think because of our time zone, it's just never worked for me right. But you can rename it, and then you change all the time events, and then your second course is made. Yes, that takes maybe 30 to 40 minutes. I usually take 2 to 3 hours copying and pasting one course on Canvas, and then doing that and setting up all my courses. But once it's done, it's a lot easier. And I will show you, this first course is done. So if I go to my people, notice my project 1 through 10 groups, they're all done. And in my project 10 groups, for example, there's absent and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to make all these groups, and I'm going to change all the times for all the other courses. So then when I go to class, I can say, oh, project 2, they will have students here. There's 0 now because I didn't make them yet. And I can just drag and drop. Drag a student into the absent group and then mark it as they're the only one, something like that. So that's all I have to say. The real downsides to Canvas is Edpuzzle is not easy to transfer over. So if you need help with that, I'll do my best. I'm not totally accustomed to it yet. And making these project groups is a downside. I wish this would copy and paste, but it doesn't. And changing the times. Changing the times will take you time. It is currently Friday at 3:15, well, 3:20, that I'm recording this. So I will spend the rest of my afternoon setting up my classes, and then I hope to have all my classes set up by tonight. Adding the project groups and the time changes shouldn't take too long. This is my introduction to Canvas video. It's not actually an introduction. I wanted to hit on the things that are going to be important for us, especially the project groups and the rubrics, because I think you guys need to use that a lot. If you want to do that on paper, I think it'll be tough. So that's all. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.